The Fed meeting, it's just noise as far as I'm concerned. Some people think they won't raise, some people think they'll pause. No one thinks that they'll pivot. To me, it doesn't matter. It's just noise. They haven't been right in what they've told us for years now. It was transitory, then it was structural, and then it was under control, and now it's going back up again. Look, let's talk about one thing that you said that matters more than anything, and that's oil reaching $90 a barrel. I mean, energy is probably the most important commodity in the world because every single thing that we do or touch, from driving your car or heating your home or manufacturing anything, mining or farming, even surfing the internet, I mean, anything takes fuel and energy. And you have to have cheap energy to keep inflation low. The higher the price of energy, the higher the input costs go into manufacturing, into farming, into driving, into surfing the internet, into paying your bills. Anything that we touch, just about, from an iPhone to a cheeseburger, has a modicum of energy tied to it. I really feel people need to open their eyes. And if they will just look at it, even if they don't believe everything I'm saying, just look at it, look at the numbers. You can't come away from this saying, how do we get out of this? How do we get out of this problem? And I don't know what the answer is, because you raise rates higher to fight inflation, you crush everything. And if you capitulate and pivot and lower rates down to zero, the way they always have in this environment, you destroy the dollar. Everyone dumps it globally, a la the BRICS, and bang, the same exact thing happens. You have hyperstagflation, the dollar gets dumped, rates go to the moon, everything collapsed. This is a problem. And maybe someone who figures a way out will win the Nobel Peace Prize in economics. But until then, I'm convinced that this is just getting started. And the interesting thing about that is that, we saw 160,000 ounces of gold leave the COMEX vaults last week. 500,000 ounces over the last 6 days, 1 month decline of 1.17 million ounces. I guess that's silver. I guess, the big money is pulling metal off of the exchanges. And I'm sure you're going to want to talk about this historic divergence between the gold price on COMEX and in China. The demand for physical metal in various parts of the sophisticated world are betraying the suppressed price and betraying the retail demand here in this industry. It's very confusing. It's very confusing when you see, 160,000 ounces of gold leave the COMEX and in a day, and 500,000 over 6 days, 1.17 million ounces, and a 1 month decline. In silver, you're talking an environment where everything seems to be disappearing. And yet on the retail side, the demand is strong. It's okay. It's better than it's been most of my career. I don't know how many times the registered category is rehypothecated, or how many more contracts there are issued than there are ounces. How many more times? It's a lot. But that's the point. I mean, if there's that much more paper versus the availability, this is just an environment where you couldn't ask for a bigger gift. If you're looking to buy gold and silver, I mean, the premiums and the prices are lower than they've ever been in 4 years. The availability is as good as it's ever been. And everywhere you look, things are flying off the shelves. If you're looking at COMEX, if you're looking at the LBMA, if you're looking at the Shanghai Gold Exchange or the Shanghai Futures Exchange, the stuff's disappearing. And the premiums on gold and silver retail here in the US and the availability is as good as it's been. Well, I said this a long time ago. I said, this is how they win. I mean, I thought it would emanate from, in my mind's eye, I see this Moscow exchange. All they would need to do is set the AM fix in gold and silver at the AM PM fix, whatever fix they do in Moscow, set the bid at $3,000 on gold and $50 on silver, and every single ounce would flow eastward. The arbitrage would bang, it would just be gone. The traders would make a fortune, and then there'd be nothing left. And you have to be able to, the only people that are really going to notice this at first would be people like JP Morgan, who have an infrastructure set up where they know all the refineries and the miners, and they do business with them all, the ETFs, and they have permits to work in all of these countries where, most people wouldn't. And I think you'll see that by just how much money their metals desk makes. But it's almost as if they struck a deal. I mean, Jamie Dimon did go to China, met with Xi Jinping, was the rumor. Maybe that's what they said. We'll give you your gold and silver. We'll allow this arbitrage. We'll make the money. You'll get the gold and silver. But draining COMEX is the warm up, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know what it is today, but I know just the other day it was $100 divergence. It was 2020 in China per ounce in 1909 here in the States. It's a 6% divergence. So this is early, but it's happening. And if I wanted to draw something up as the Chinese or the Russians in a way to get all the gold and silver, look, that's all you got to do, is just make this an arbitrage situation where the make-believe price on COMEX is exposed. That large premium means that gold will flow to the BRICS, to the OPEC countries, to the highest premium. And that's where you're going to find it. And those are the countries that are using it for a reason. I think it will be to back a new system. This is real. And again, they will be met with poo-poo and blah, blah. I mean, all the naysayers can continue to naysay all they want. I don't care anymore. If you don't see what's happening, little by little, by little, by little, by little, by little, then bang, all at once. It will happen all at once. And it's happening little by little. Look at all of the things that we talk about every week, and we haven't even talked about the BRICS yet. But that's the point, is that it's a big deal. I think it will become a very big deal also, as if it stays at these levels or even goes higher. Yeah, the traders, the JP Morgan traders and the big bullion bank traders will make a fortune playing that arbitrage game. And then the East will have all the gold and silver. And there's an old saying, he who has the gold makes the rules. And it just seems that that's where all the gold is going. Not only they're the largest producers and accumulators, and, on top of the fact that everything is flowing that way off of the exchanges, it's not a good sign. There are people out there that are standing up, and these legislations say, that gold and silver coins made by a sovereign government, some like Texas say just US, most say any sovereign government, past or present, would be allowable and to be used as legal tender for all debts, public and private, including doing things like paying your property taxes. And yeah, I guess you're beginning to see what I believe is at least a resistance, something I never thought I would see. I mean, whoever thought that you would see the ability to go pay your property taxes with silver eagles?